Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. It's an airport, a housing complex, and a prison for those in United States custody. Now, 4 prisoners who say they have no idea why they're in jail are turning to the United States courts for help, and their call is getting answered. The American Civil Liberties Union is filing habeas corpus petitions on their behalf, trying to give these men the right to challenge their detention. Jonathan Manis works at the ACLU's National Security Project. He joins me now from New York. Mr. Manis, let's talk specifically about these 4 men. What can you tell us about who they are and why they were arrested?
Right. Well, like many people at Bagram, they've been held for more than a year. Two of our clients have been held for almost 2 years. We've talked to their family, we've talked to anyone we can get a hold of, and nobody has any idea why they're being held. They haven't been told, as far as we know. 2 of them are brothers. They were both picked up at work. One of them was an internet an IT specialist at an internet service provider. The other one was a translator for the U.S. forces, actually. The other 2, it's a nephew and his uncle. The uncle is a bureaucrat with the Afghan government. We have no idea why they've been held, and as far as we know, they've been giving no meaningful process to challenge their detention. They've been there for almost 2 years, all 4 of them.
And you know, we've been hearing about Bagram for years, but the information that we've heard has been pretty vague. Is there a concern that conditions here could be as bad or even worse than Guantanamo Bay?
Well, it's definitely true that the conditions at Bagram in the past were deplorable. In some cases, it might have been worse than at Guantanamo. There were many cases of serious abuse, maltreatment. In fact, the military prosecuted several soldiers for beating at least 2 detainees to death several years ago. Now, the Obama administration has opened up a new prison on at the Bagram Air Base, and what we're hearing is that the conditions are significantly better there, which is very encouraging. What's not so encouraging is that the process that the Obama administration has instituted to determine whether these people are lawfully held remains inadequate in our view. That's why we brought this case. That's why we're bringing these habeas corpus petitions, because we don't think that the process that's in place there to determine whether somebody is lawfully held is adequate.
And I think that's a really important point. I mean, this is part of a larger debate that's taken center stage here in the United States, the rights of prisoners detained in other countries. How do you think taking on this case could add to that debate?
Well, I should say that this isn't the first case. Other Bagram detainees have brought their cases to court, and the federal court in the District of Columbia has held that at least some of them have the right to go to federal court to challenge their detention and have a judge in the United States review whether they're lawfully held. We're hoping with our case to shine further light on this, and to specifically shine light on the cases of people that are detained in Afghanistan but off the battlefield, detained in night raids or at work, and that are given no opportunity to challenge their detention in any meaningful way. They're not given any lawyer. The tribunal that determines whether the tribunal the Obama administration has set up to determine whether they're lawfully held it's 3 military officers that can be removed at will. They're not insulated in any way from the wishes of their superiors. We just don't think that that's an adequate process. So we're hoping that the court in D.C. that we've filed these habeas petitions with will give these petitioners a fair hearing and force the government to prove that why they should be held, or otherwise to set them free. So
I'm curious what you know. I'm curious what you know about the people who actually do the arresting. I mean, are they just following orders? How do they go in there? How do they choose these people?
Well, our understanding is that for 2 of our detainees, they were picked up at work, so presumably they had some kind of reason to go after them. We don't know. Maybe it was a business competitor that was providing false information. Could have been, a local rival, that sort of thing. The other 2 were picked up in a neighborhood raid. So soldiers were, from what we gather, were going door to door and knocking on doors, asking questions, and we don't know why they decided to take our 2 clients into detention. So again, this is really a black box, and hopefully through this lawsuit we'll be able to shine some light on what happened there.
Well, we sure do hope you keep us posted on what happens there. Thanks so much for that.